How's it going, everybody? Just wanted to kind of do a little, this is pretty much not a video on what this is showing. So please don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah. Anyways, old joke. Some of you may get it, some of you may not. I'm here to do not a review on this, which is the newer TL96 RGB. So this is a light, and I'm just using this as a reference so you can see kind of my setup now. So you can see how everything kind of focuses really well. I've got, so my main camera here is a Sony ZV-1. It is on a tripod, and I do have my tablet going to it for my teleprompter. You can see it's doing its thing. The RGBLink Mini over here that I'm going to be showing you guys, that's the main thing for tonight. And there is the view on it. Excuse me, I just sneezed, so I got a little bit of a sniffles. Of course, I also have my my Stream Deck over here that I use to change things with. My overhead camera, I just hit the cut button, and there you go. There's the overhead camera, and you can see that. And you can see it does focus in real well. Just have to kind of pay attention to where it's at there. There you go. So it's got that. And it does on the back have these buttons, so I can press and log it. Again, I'm not doing this, but you can see cut back to the main camera. So that's me, and I'm looking through the teleprompter, of course, blah, 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 and I can look over and see myself on the screen. So, and if I want to, I can put my camera, I'm sorry, my computer up. So if we wanted to see, if I wanted to show you how this works. Now, when I got these, of course, they were on some kind of deal. I can't remember if it was a Black Friday deal or what the deal was, but anyways, they were like 16 bucks a piece. So greatly reduced, and then I can use my screen on here to where I can go down like that, or I can go down the full page, and it'll show you the information that is on whatchamacallit, on Amazon or whatever I've got on the computer, it'll show it. So bring this back over here real quick and make sure you can see that. If I wanted to, so if I wanted to show some more of this, and of course I can go a little bit wider on this, I think that's a little bit too close up. So switch over to my overhead camera, and then what I can do is I can go to my views, and I can press 1, and there you go. So now you can see what I'm looking at, plus you can see me if I wanted to do it that way. So if I'm looking at this like that, and I just wanted to show you what it's looking like, and still wanted you to be able to see me in the picture, then there you go. See, I know everybody wants to see me. So that's kind of the way that works. The only problem is, going back, I have to go back to the view of me like that, and then I have to take it off of there, and then I can cut back to the other one where it doesn't have it. And I can do that with both of them. I've got them set up so, excuse me, goodness. So if I wanted the computer on there and I wanted to show the same thing, then I could go to my views again. So I can show you on the, I can show you a picture of me while I'm looking at the Amazon part, and you can see that. So there we go. And so I can do picture-in-picture. I can do 4 different settings on that. Supposedly you can do green screens. Now again, this is the RGBLink Mini-ISO. So again, I'm going to get out of this, and I need to go back to that and get out of that, and then I'll go back to that. I want to go over the misconceptions about the RGBLink Mini-ISO. Okay, pro number one is misconception number one is it's not actually ISO. So Unfortunately, this thing is not ISO, because ISO in video terms and terminology of switching, it's international standard of organization, yes, but ISO for these means isolation. So it means it's isolating and recording each input individually, so that instead of having just a main recording where you're getting pretty much, think of it as in audio terms, where you've got 27 tracks of instruments coming in: guitars, drums, vocals, keyboards, all that kind of stuff. It's not doing that. What it's doing is the stereo bus recording. That's what it is. There is no recording of each one of those tracks individually, or each one of the channels individually. It does have 4 HDMI inputs, which is good, and they're 4K. They take 4K, and it has 4 SDI inputs. So they're using the BNC. Sorry, it's a BNC connector. So they do have 4 of those, but you can't use the HDMI and record each one of those channels separately. You can't use the SDI and record each one of those channels separately. So, in other words, it's not ISO. It is just HDMI and SDI. Okay, so that's now the pro number 2 about this is it does have a larger screen than the Mini. So the Mini Pro, or whatever it is, has literally the size of a Apple Watch. That's as big as the screen is. This one has a 3.5-inch screen. It's a touch screen. It's so much better. I really enjoy using this on it says that it's a 10-channel switcher. It is not a 10-channel switcher. Okay, it does have a USB input, which you have to be connected to Tau Cloud in order to get that to where it'll recognize a webcam. Okay, so it takes a webcam or whatever to do that. So in other words, it has 4 HDMI, 4 SDI. You can't use both of those inputs at the same time. Channel 1 on HDMI is channel 1 on SDI. So you have to choose. You're either going to use the SDI or the HDMI. You can't use them both at the same time. So it's not 10-channel. It is 5-channel because you can use 5 HDMI and 1 USB for webcam, or you can use 5 SDI and 1 channel as webcam, or you can use any combination thereof. So as long as you're not using channel 1 twice, channel 2 twice, channel 3 channel 4 twice. So you can use channel 1 and 2 SDI, channel 3 and 4 HDMI, and then channel 5 is the USB. So that is the other good thing. 5 inputs again, but they must be connected to the internet to get that 5th one. So that's where I've had a huge problem. It wants you connect to Tau Cloud using your computer. So it wants you to connect to the internet, but you have to use a router, whatever. I bought an extender that I have an a RJ45 connection going to this. So you can't connect it to your computer using the RJ45 or the LAN connection. You have to connect it to an internet source for it to get internet, for it to get updates, for it to be connected to Tau Cloud, for it to stream, for it to do anything. That's the only way it works. You can't connect it directly to your computer. You can connect your computer to the USB-A, which is 5, which you can use as a webcam in a source, but that's another thing altogether. Supposedly you can use that USB also for a thumb drive and get images or lower thirds or whatever on that too. I'm not sure. I haven't tested that yet. So the good thing about it is, of course, that it does input 4K video. It only outputs 1080p, so the screen I'm looking at or the anything like that is just going to be 1080p. Even the recording on an SSD drive. So it does have another USB connection for a SSD drive, and that SSD drive records directly from this. You don't have to have it connected to the internet or to a computer or anything like that. You can record directly onto an SSD. Another issue is the fan is very loud, and that is on its almost lowest setting. That is the setting that I've noticed that it doesn't get too hot. It does still get pretty hot, but it doesn't get too hot, and it's not so loud that it tends to blow away everything that the microphone picks up. My microphone is up here. I've got a boom microphone connected to a boom pole and going to my Sony ZV-1. This is the only way I've noticed that it doesn't blow it out of the water. So there's that. You can adjust the fan speed. I think there's 5 speed settings on it. But again, even this is next to lowest, not quite the lowest. When you get up there into the highest speed, man, it is loud. So green screen. It does have a setting for green screen. I and several people that have done videos on these have not figured out how to do the green screen. I can't figure it out. It doesn't seem to want to do anything. I think you have to have it connected to the computer again, blah, blah, blah. So it took forever for me to get this down. So whenever you're doing your picture-in-picture and you want to do your layer sizes, you have to use the zoom settings for the PTZ camera portion. So in other words, you have to press the S button, which I'm not sure what S means. I think it has to do with settings. I don't know. But anyways, so you go to settings. You have to have your two videos that or your 2 channels that you're planning on adjusting. You have to have them selected, and then you can move them around, but only one at a time. And then you have to. It's really tricky. It's really different. You have an A and a B button on here. The B is for whichever one is you want to move onto the top, so over top. So like right now on my preview, I'm seeing my desktop. On my program, I'm seeing me, the ZV-1. So ZV-E10 is the desktop, and then ZV-1 is me on my program. So first one I'm going to adjust is the EV10, because that is layer A on this. It's on preview. So then I have to move my program, which is going to be B, over there, and then I have to resize it. You have to press and hold that button for a few seconds before it's ever going to start to shrink it down. It'll move it pretty quickly, but you have to hold it down to be able to resize it. So it's a little bit different. The PIP is available without having it connected to a computer, so that makes it good. So now, I chatted with a representative online at one point because I was getting so frustrated with the way things were working. He pretty much told me that there is no latency adjustment on this device. So it's either automatic or whatever the case may be. Now, I will tell you this. If you have, like what I have, a boom camera going to one of your cameras, a boom microphone going to one of your cameras, and then your camera picking it up in here, HDMI audio coming in. If you connect headphones to your RGBLink Mini-ISO, it's going to trail. You're going to have a bunch of trailings on it because it is god-awful. I plugged my microphone directly into it. I couldn't get anything out of it. No matter what I did, it either sounded terrible or I didn't have the right connection or something. I don't know what it was. It was a 3.5 millimeter jack, so I don't know what the deal is, but it sounds god-awful. You do have audio adjustments on here, but yeah, they're just, I would not use that at all. That is the good thing. It does have the tactile audio controls. You've got mute for each channel. You've got, or not mute for each channel, but you've got a volume, what are those called? Rotary dial for each channel, and that's including your headphones. So you've got 5 input channels plus your headphone out. So you have that, and then you've got a AFV button for each one of those too. So you can set it to where audio follows video by pushing any one of those. So that's a good thing too. So the program and preview outputs, that's another thing. It's great because you actually have, right now I'm just using my preview output. So there's one output up top, or on the back side of it, I should say, HDMI out, and that is going to my monitor where I see my preview, my program, my HDMI 1, 2, 3, 4, and then media, and then there's the audio, which is media, line mic 1, mic 2. Then there's a record section, then there's an on-air section. Now, what I don't get is the media section doesn't show, or the media mic, the audio section does not show my microphone coming, the level of it coming through. It shows it on my HDMI setting, or on my HDMI and on my program screen, but it doesn't show it there. Also, when you're recording onto an SSD, it won't show it on there either. It only shows it if you're recording onto your computer or on that cloud thing. Same thing with on air, which that's a gimme because that's the only time you're going to be on air. Again, 1080p record function to SSD. That's all you're going to get. The one alternate USB A input or output, whatever, is for a thumb drive or for a webcam. So it's neat it's good that you have that option. So anyways, that's pretty much my whole take of everything. So I'm going to put this little video together. This is a short one. I will say this. I like using this thing. I like having the text. I've tried the ATEM Mini, whatever you want to call it, the Blackmagic design. I've actually tried the RGBLink Mini Pro. Didn't like that at all. There you go. That's my view, my opinion, what I've gotten so far out of this. Like I said, I like using it. It makes being able to see this stuff and switch things and stuff is a lot better for me than having to take 4 cameras over to DaVinci Resolve and put it on there, mix everything together, and then edit it that way. So again, it's up to you what you like. Is it worth the money? Again, that's entirely up to you and what you use it for. If you have the money, whatever you want to say, I mean, $250 for the Mini, which won't do half the stuff that this one does, but it's $600 for this one. So there you go. Those are your options. I'm sorry, but that's kind of what we get stuck with in audio, video, photography, any of that stuff. You put those words, audio, video, photography, on it, and it doubles the price of everything. So that's what we have to deal with. So anyways, see you guys later. If you have any comments or concerns or questions, please leave them in the comment boxes, and I will get with you as soon as I can. Anyways, I hope everybody gets something out of this, whether good or bad, I don't know, but hope you get something out of it, and let me know if you'd like to know any more. All right, thanks. Bye.